just keep hearing that music instead of listening to us. All right, hey, welcome to the Alvin Yellow Jacket Football Show. I'm your host, Phil Jean, along with Coach Matthew Bass. We're going to talk about the Alvin Yellow Jackets loss to Dawson Eagles. They're a very good team. You guys lost to them 42-7 to drop to 2-6 overall, 1-5 in district. Just tell us a little bit about what you felt, how that game went.
You know, it's one of those games, right? We talked after the game with the kids on the sideline about consistency. You know, first drive we come out, we 3 and out, make them punt, and then just, you know, the consistency's got to get there. You know, then we gave up a few big plays back to back there, and just put ourselves in a hole. Offensively, I think this is probably one of our best games up front blocking wise. So that's something to look forward to. Getting a few players back as well is good, but there's still a lot of things we got to work on.
One of the things that happened as well is you kind of made a change at quarterback. Why was that, and how did you feel that James Keeland did when he stepped in?
Sure. I mean, one of the things is James has been hurt since Pearland. He was the backup quarterback going into that game against Pearland, got hurt, you know, fractured his wrist, come back healthy. He's a heck of an athlete. He has the ability to play a little bit of everything for us. I mean, he punts for us, right, as well. And so we wanted to see. James has got some legs on him. He's also a pretty competitive kid. So kind of duel him and DeSano back and forth and just kind of see who comes out. I was impressed by his performance, you know, overall, especially coming back from, you know, 6-week injury just about. So looking forward to this week as well.
Okay. Is he going to get the starting nod, or we'll just talk about that a little later?
We'll talk about that later.
All right, sounds good. In this game, obviously, Dawson, very proficient, 554 yards of total offense. You guys were able to manage 167. Just obviously, Dawson is a ranked team, is one of the better teams in the state.
Sure. You know, Dawson took down a really good Shadow Creek team early in district. And Dawson's always very competitive. You know, last year they didn't make the playoffs off of a fluke, in my opinion. But I think Coach Allison's got them right back to where he wants them. You know, they're big, they're fast, they're well coached. You know, those are the things that you like to play up against and see where you stand. I think we did some really good things, and I think we're progressing, but there are some things that we still got to work on how we operate.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to dive into the offensive side of the ball when we come back after this break, and then we'll take a look at some of the other plays as well, including defense and special teams. So keep with us right here. All right, welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at the offensive side of the ball where, again, you guys gained 167 yards, kind of played 2 quarterbacks. Let's take a look at some of the offensive plays, beginning with play number 1.
Sure. So here's just a little divide play. This is DeSano to Keelan. Once again, having him back really helps us out. He's a good player all around, and so he adds another tool. It's a switch right out the game for us, and he's just another big piece of the puzzle that really enjoying having him back.
Yeah, Keelan had 2 catches for 30 yards, and then obviously played quarterback, so kind of the Swiss Army knife for you there.
Sure.
Let's take a look at the second play now.
So anytime we get press coverage, we have the ability to just throw the runoff, right? They want to press Perkins here, Hayden Perkins, and we just take it. Great throw here, drops right in the pocket. Great catch by Perkins, first down.
And Perkins had kind of been slowing down after being one of the district leaders. It's good to see him back in action here. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And he hasn't slowed down in general. Just, you know, sometimes the game plans don't work towards certain players, but this week we thought we could test those corners with him, and I thought he played a decent game.
Yeah, definitely a nice play by both, just dropping it in the bucket
Absolutely.
there and keeping the concentration on the sideline. Let's take a look at play number 3 now.
One of the things that really helps James Keelan out is his legs, right? Sometimes when things are a little murky, right, we get a little coverage sack set up, his legs can get him out of some of the issues. And so this is a time where he doesn't like what he sees, you know, puts on the jets a little bit, gets out, and makes something, you know, out of nothing, so to speak. So another good play by James.
Coming back from an injury, would you have liked to seen him slide before taking that last hit?
I mean, those are the nuances of things, but, you know, I'm also a big believer in players make plays, and so if he feels like he's going to fall forward for a few more, I'm not going to fault the kid.
Take a few more yards.
Sure.
All right, let's take a look at the next play now.
We ran this play a few times, got it wrong, whether that be a bad read or a bad route concept, but we're just playing with the leverage. It's a little rub type setup. We send the receiver in, send the running back. This is J.J. Roush on the wheel. Okay, really works in. We end up caving that guy. Nice and easy pitch and catch. The bullet to the outside. That's a first down for us there.
Yeah, it's a traditional pick play, but you kind of want to see your receiver run the route a little bit more than get
Sure,
because he
sure.
could have definitely been flagged on that.
Absolutely. But hey, didn't call it, so it's all good.
That's right. So it's drawn up as planned.
That's
then.
right. That's right.
All right, let's take a look at the next play then.
Once again, talk about the elusiveness and just overall hard running from J.J. Roush, right? Anytime he gets a little space, when he gets to the second level, I think things can get really, really aggressive with him. This is just a G play, a little kick play for us here. He follows Govea around the corner and, does what he does, right? Makes a few guys miss, churns his feet over, and gets a few more yards than you would expect for a guy of his stature.
Yeah, he had 51 yards and a TD running and another 21 yards receiving, so you got to love those type of numbers.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the next play. How about players instead? It's the offensive player of the game, and yeah, you see it, a lot of meat up there.
Sure. And it's one of those things, right? When you're talking about players of the game, a lot of the time these guys go unannounced, go unseen. But a lot of the success we had in this game depended solely on these guys, right? This is probably the best blocking up front we've had against a good opponent. We've done some good things against some of the lesser opponents, but against a good competitive opponent in our district, I thought they did a really good job playing against Dawson up front. So that's something to look forward to going into Dobie this week.
All right. So the offensive line gets the offensive player of the game recognition. Good job to those fellas. Now let's take a look at the defensive side of the ball. Again, missed tackles were an issue. You had 20 tackles. Let's take a look at the first play on defense that we're going to analyze.
So missed tackles were an issue, but it's one of those things. We talked to the kids about rallying to the football. This is Blaine Bingham sniffing out a little tunnel screen here. He's a sophomore, right? And sophomores do sophomore things sometimes, but one of the things that's good about him is he's progressing, right? He was a little bit down on himself, and I said, well, Blaine, go ask your daddy how I was as a sophomore on varsity here at Alvin. I said, these things take time, and I've really liked the way that he's built over this season, right? Really become more physical, starting to learn things, but things fly fast for anybody, but especially sophomores on varsity.
Well, he's definitely always around the ball.
Absolutely.
To have a lot of missed tackles, you got to be pursuing the ball a lot as well. Right?
He's got a lot of opportunities, a lot of natural instinct. We got to continue to work it.
Refine it. All right, let's take a look at the second defensive play.
We put the 5 to the boundary here. Quarterback likes to run. Once again, talking about taking good angles, being, gang tackling to the ball. Really good angles by our backer here, Trace Martinez. Inside out, you got Colton Meyer flying, and then my safety, I guess it's outside backer, but when Rostro in the corner playing there, we get 4 guys to the ball. Great job here.
Yeah, deny him the end zone on that play.
Absolutely.
Good gang tackling. All right, let's take a look at the next play.
One of the things that we've kind of struggled a little bit lately is playing tough in the front. I thought that we did a better job of playing tough in the front this week. Obviously, secondary pass coverage still needs quite a bit of work, but I think we got back to what we wanted to be, and that is a physical front 7 team. This is Brendan Orozco, a.k.a. Turtle. Okay, it's a blitz here. Plays flat down the line. TFL for him. What a great job here. Being physical, knifing through that GT, or I guess it's GF, and making that play on the running back. Really good play by Turtle.
And again, good pursuit by all the teams there as another gang tackle comes
Absolutely.
in. All right, let's take a look at the next defensive play.
Once again, talk about being very physical in the front 7. I think that's something that we did a whole lot better this week, is being physical, commanding the line of scrimmage, gang tackling. Just a great play by the front 7 in general, right? We're making contact with the offensive line. They're not making contact with us, and we're hitting the running back deep in the backfield. Can't beat it.
Cannot beat that. That's a great play there. All right, let's take a look at our defensive player of the game, and it is Will Maurhan. He had 4 tackles and a QB pressure. Just talk a little bit about his play from number 25.
You know, Will Malrahan's steady Eddie, right? He does what he's coached to do, gives it all he's got. One of the things that I like about Will is he's a smart player, right? He's a student of the game. And so Will's going to put himself in the best position to play. I thought he had a really good game for us, you know, four solo tackles, quarterback pressure. I thought, you know, it wasn't a Trace Martinez game to where there was 11 tackles, 12 tackles, you know, between him and Travis Goss. The beauty of this game is it was all spread out. We had a bunch of guys with 4 tackles, 3 tackles, TFL here, TFL there. But I thought that day in and day out, or I guess play in and play out, Will did a great job of being consistent in his position this last week. So that's why we wanted to put him up for MVP.
Well, there you go, and he got it. All right, let's take a look now at the special teams play, and let's take a look at this first play from the special teams.
So we've been gaining steam in special teams all year. Enrique Garza's done a great job for us, both in the kickoff game with James Keelan getting hurt. We kind of searched around for punts a little bit, end up laying our hat on Enrique, and he's done a great job for us here. This is kind of getting to what you really want, right? And that's putting that thing out there. There's no ability to return this ball. Great kick by Enrique.
Just a deep boot.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's take a look at the next special teams play. And you're talking about the punt coverage, and we're going to take a look at it right here.
Sure. Another great punt, right? He had a heck of a night punting the football. They want to catch this ball live? Sure. We talk about that all the time, that if they want to do foolish things, we got to make them pay for them. Probably should have fair caught this joker. He doesn't, right? We get gang tackled the ball, and Dawson's going to start at the 3-yard line. Great job by our punt coverage.
Gotta love when you're able to pin them deep in their own territory.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a look at another punt, and this is not a replay, but we're going to pin them deep yet again, right?
Right, absolutely. Another just monster punt here. He doesn't end up wanting to field it. Great roll here. Let's travel down, okay? Another job, we're getting them inside the 5-yard line. Can't ask any more out of the punter. Can't ask any more out of the punt coverage team.
And he was able to get that off with some heat in his face.
Sure, they're sending some things, but you know what? Enrique's been a pretty stalwart guy for us.
All right, let's take a look at the last special teams play of the game. And what do we have here?
So this is just a good return here. This is Cameron Fobbs, one of our faster kids on the team. You know, I'm probably at the other 40, and I'm just screaming, just run, just run, just run, right? Got that big lane opening. Take what they give you. If they're going to play inside the numbers on kickoff coverage like they are here, let's get to the outside edge. Let's block it up. You know, you get the ball at the 25, well, we're going to put it to the 31, and every yard counts. So this is a great job by him. Great job by our blocking on the KOR team.
All right, well, and that wraps it up for that game, a 42-7 loss to Dawson. But again, the Eagles are one of the better teams in the district and in the region right now. So we are going to return right after this short break and talk about the next game. So stick with us. All right, welcome back. All right, the next item on the agenda in terms of the schedule, we're talking Adobe. That's a 6:30 p.m. start on a Thursday night. I think I've asked you about this before. Do you prefer the Thursday game or the Friday game, or you don't care? Let's just play the game.
I think there's nuances to both. I like Thursday games. I like Friday games. I do not like Saturday games. I don't think anybody does, really and truly. It's always an opportunity to see how kids are going to react, right, to change the schedule. So we've had a pretty weird schedule all year. Thursday here, Friday there. We always got an event when we're at home going on, so we have an expedited schedule on the grass for warm-up. But I thought the kids have adjusted well to having a short week. The thing that's going to be different for this game than any other game is it's not going to be 95 degrees with 1,000% humidity. So seeing how the kids are going to react to where when kickoff starts, it's going to be about 61 degrees. And so how are our kids going to react to the temperature difference? I think that we've played well. Dobie's very physical up front. We talk about it as a staff. We kind of feel like there's 2 offense coordinators and 2 defense coordinators because they're so, from what we're seeing, it's so random, right? They'll get in their wing tee or their slot tee, and then the next time they'll be in, a 10 personnel, doubles, trips, all that stuff. On defense, we can tell you they're going to be in a 4 down. That's about it. I don't know if they're going to be, 4-3, 4-2-5. I mean, it just all depends. They're athletic. They're well coached. Fitzmaurice over there, he's an alum, got the job last year at Dobie, and he's done a great job over there. So he's going to have those kids fired up. But we got to go compete. Some of the things that I think that we're building on are going to help us out. Like I said, offensive line play has been great. Dobie's got a good front, but we're getting better, and I think the system is starting to make sense every week more and more with our kids. And so really looking forward to get out there, be competitive with these guys, and see what happens.
All right, sounds good. On the offensive side of the ball, is it gonna be a mixture at quarterback again, or is it gonna be?
Yeah, so we're gonna probably roll the mixture at quarterback and see, kind of how we did it last week. We gave both of them a little bit, and then we wanted to see, did anybody stand out particularly? Okay, well, if they don't, then, let's roll series for series and go from there. And I think we're kind of in the same situation right now. We want to see, pound for pound, who's going to be able to take hold of the reins.
Okay,
so,
sounds good.
Good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. All right, again, that's this Thursday against Dobie, so hopefully we can pick up the third win of the year.
Yes, sir.
All right, I am going to let Coach sign it out for us.
Jacket pride never dies.
There it is. Join us next week.